Welcome back, everyone, to the Thompson broadcast booth here at NAB. I'm your host, Kim Kerrigan. I'm very pleased to have our next guest. This is Bob Seidel, and he is VP of Engineering and Advanced Technology at CBS. And it's so nice to have you here, sir.
Well, thank you very much.
Great to see you. We had a chance to see you the other night at the Tech Emmys. You also have some involvement there with Natus.
Yes, I chair the technical committee that issues the engineering awards every year. We usually have 3 or 4 meetings a year, and I have some of the best technologists in the industry, CTOs, VPs of engineering, scientists, and they essentially debate whether the technology is Emmy worthy.
That's fantastic. I would say that you've got the knowledge, that's for sure, with what you do, so that's great. It was a wonderful evening, by the way. I enjoyed it very much.
You did, good.
Thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about technology. Wow, you've just told me you've been with CBS for 43 years. Technology has changed in 43 years.
It has. When I started with the company, people were capturing news on 16 millimeter film, racing it back to the station, and having to develop it in the soup and hope that they had film at 11.
Right.
And my former boss, Joe Flaherty, who just passed away last year, he revolutionized with a news gathering, with electronic news gathering, and suddenly news was happening in real time. You were reporting news rather than reporting history.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think we laugh about that 43 years, obviously it's changed, but boy, I've been in the business for quite a while myself, and when I look back and the way that things have changed and the way that we approach things, just the idea that you can bring live events into someone's home. When you started 43 years ago, we weren't doing that.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. And as technology evolved, we got into satellite news gathering. I developed and received an Emmy for some of the early satellite dishes that were very portable, so you could be on the scene of a news event in a moment's notice and be beaming signals back from anywhere in the world. So you were really bringing the events into people's living room rather than reporting history.
I feel very partial to the broadcast business because I've been in it for such a long time, but I look around now and I wonder how technology, and most specifically that phone, while it certainly aids those of us who are in the business, it also is a problem. Would you say that's true?
Yes,
It's a competitor.
In broadcast journalism, we always insist on 3 independently verifiable sources before we go to air with a story. And today, with a smartphone, you can be a reporter and post a story, but you really don't know if it's been verified, is what you're seeing is correct. And at our annual CBS breakfast that we host every year for our chief engineers, we had someone from the NSA talk about faked news, specifically from terrorists. So it's very difficult to nowadays determine what's real video footage and what has been altered.
Sure, absolutely. Tell me about some of the biggest challenges you guys faced as currently, as all this technology is changing. I mean, we are going to more software. It can be a lot more dangerous for folks like CBS.
Well, we always have a motto where we like to certify something before we put it to air. So we go through a lot of efforts, testing in advance, testing in our laboratory before we buy and put it out on the street. So we usually go through 3 distinct phases. First is the laboratory test, where we subject it to very harsh conditions, cold, heat, vibration, obviously people testing it. Then we move it into alpha or beta phase, and finally, when we're convinced that it's functioning sufficiently, we'll put it on air.
Yeah. So tell me about one of the toughest ones to get on the air. What was some of the technology that was really difficult?
Well, high definition took a long time.
Yeah, it sure did.
We started in 1981 at the Winter Conference, the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers, and we showed it to people like Francis Ford Coppola and other directors, notables in Hollywood, and they said, "Ooh, this is interesting." But it didn't really begin to get going until we appointed a committee to investigate and have essentially a Pillsbury bake-off of multiple systems. I think there were originally 22 proposals, got widowed down to a very small number, and they came up with the Grand Alliance, which was a small number of companies. The standard was submitted to the FCC for approval in '96, and '97 I put the first transmitter on the air in Raleigh, North Carolina, WRAL. We did John Glenn's Return to Space in HD. And then in '99, we converted the entire CBS lineup to high definition. So it was a long road from 1981 until 1999, and then people began to buy sets. So we then had to wait for the set populations to increase. And so it was a long road, but I still think it's very much worth it because it's producing image like you were there. So.
Sure, absolutely. So let's talk about the future. What do you anticipate, or what do you hope will happen in the future as an engineer?
Well, we just fielded a new technology that we call CBS All Access. And CBS All Access allows the local television station to appear in your telephone, in your phone. So if you're in New York, you're getting WCBS. Out here in Las Vegas, you're getting KLAS TV, our local station. So you're seeing their live news coverage in real time, along with our 10,000 episode library of historic CBS content ranging from I Love Lucy to the latest in Star Trek. So it provides, I think, the consumer an opportunity both to experience live linear television as well as VOD television. And we get ratings coverage so that the viewing is actually rated by Nielsen, so we're not having any lost viewers in that process. We're not having any leakage in the system. So they're seeing the content in real time.
And Bob, I would assume that is part of CBS's plan when it comes to this younger generation that's literally cutting the cables, cutting the cords, and they're walking around with a device in their hand. Yes. These networks have to be relevant. So this is the answer.
We estimate there's probably 12 million what we call broadband-only homes, and every day someone's cutting the cord and that number is increasing. But by having this application that integrates with both live linear television and allows for the local station to be geographically located and available on the phone, I think is tremendous. And we're between, I guess, Showtime and All Access, we're at nearly 8 million subscribers and growing. So it's a very profitable platform for us. It's growing every day in viewership. And as you pointed out, it's the young viewers that are watching, so our average demographic is coming down much lower, where before CBS was considered more of an older audience.
Well, we in the broadcast business need those young people.
Yes, we do.
Thank you very much. Your insight has been terrific. Continued success at CBS.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.